Okay, so good morning, guys. We are going to look at simultaneous equations. So feedback from last lesson would be when I am looking at your working, a lot of you, I think, are losing confidence that you're not getting the right answers and you're just looking at your right answers rather than actually looking at your working. If you do reflect back on the working, you would kind of notice what you're doing. So there are 3 key skills that you need for simultaneous equations. These 2 are assumed when you're looking at the high level, and then this is the last step. So what I've done is the worksheet has 3 parts to it, and the first part just concentrates on looking at the methodology for simultaneous equations. The second one will focus on both of these, so you're looking at simultaneous equations as well as working with algebraic expressions. That could be expanding, it could be factorizing, it could be any of the skills that you require for basic algebraic expressions. And then last section will have all 3, where you will also need to start rearranging your equations. Okay, so what I expect you to do is make sure you work on the level you should be at. So going upon the feedback I gave you last lesson, obviously if I told you that you were doing quite well on it, I'm not expecting you to start on A. I would expect you to start on B or possibly go to C. Okay, and if you weren't feeling very confident and you weren't sure why you were getting wrong or right answers but want to double check your methodology, you might want to start on A, give yourself about 5-6 questions, and then you can move on to B. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, getting on with the questions, I will give you an example from A and B and C, and then you can just crack on. Okay, any questions, do let me know, guys. I will be online. Okay, so in regards to section A, where you're just looking at substitution, y equals y. Nice and easy. Everyone knows that y equals y, right? So all I need to do is say that this equals this, because y equals y. And both of them are written as y equals. So I've got 2x plus 7 is equal to 3x plus 3. Okay, so I look, where's the highest x? That's the higher x, so I'm going to remove the lower x. So I'm going to take away 2x from both sides. I'm left with 7 is x plus 3. I then have to eliminate the 3. I then get x equals 4. Okay, then I can just substitute it back into any of those equations. So y is 2x plus 7. So instead of x, I'm going to have 4. So that's 8 plus 7. So y equals 15. Because a lot of people like coordinates as their answers, I'm going to say it's probably best if you do that. So obviously coordinates are written in alphabetical order. So you've got x, y, so it'll be 4, 15. So for section B, I now have y equals. So I'm going to input this whole entire expression into where it says y right there. So I've got 2x plus 3. And then I'm just going to have x plus 2. Make sure you pop it into brackets because you don't want to mess up on any kind of signs. And then I've got to expand the bracket. So I've got 2x plus 3x plus 6 equals 26. I'm going to collect these 2 terms together because they are the same. I'll then get a 2-step equation. Take away the 6 from both sides. You've got 5x equals 20. And then I just have to divide both sides by 5. I then get x equals 4. I'm going to pop it back into the top equation because that's super easy to go back into. So that's just x plus 2. Okay, and then x plus 2 is obviously just 4 plus 2. So y equals 6. And then I would write 4, 6 as my answer. Okay, so I did advise that you would have to rearrange. So in order to rearrange, I need to say x equals or I need to say y equals. So for this one, I'm just going to move that y across because I'm not dealing with negatives. So I've got 1 plus y, okay? So now I've got that, I know x equals, that means I'm going to replace this x with whatever I've got in there. So I've then got whole entire expression equals 3. Why did I put the red pen down? Don't know. Okay, so I've got 1 plus y plus y. So instead of x, I'm going to write this entire expression. Okay, if you have nothing in front of the brackets, it's always going to be a 1. Okay, it's a bit like this is 1x and that's 1y. Okay, so that's a 1. So expand the brackets first. That's 1 plus y equals 3. Collect these two, so I've got 1 plus 2y equals 3. I've got the y on this side, I don't need to worry about moving it, so I've got to move the numbers, so it's 2y equals 2, then divide it by 2, so y equals 1, and then I'm just going to substitute back into this, so I've got x equals 1 plus y, which is 1 plus 1, which is, let's put that on the next line, so I can underline it. Okay, and then obviously I just want to pop it into brackets. So I've got my coordinate answer, which is 2, 1. Okay, so you guys should be able to just tackle the set of exercises that you are on. So really depending on your feedback from last lesson. So if I gave you feedback which showed your understanding, then I'm not expecting any of those people to start on section A. You should be starting on section B. It's just a few people, I think you just lost a little bit of faith in what you were doing, although your method was fine. So those people that actually went, no, I don't know what I'm doing, just double check with exercise A, maybe do about 4 or 5 questions. Just if you are having any problems with those, then do let me know. But otherwise, your methodology from those people that I was checking, your method was fine. It was just doing the whole substituting and expanding brackets and everything that seemed to be ruining your answers for you. So you guys get started on section A. Everyone else can get started on section B. Obviously, you've got enough time to do a fair amount of questions, okay? Do take care. Get some vitamin D at some point.